The following video is for entertainment purposes only. The scenarios presented within have been heavily edited and are neither complete nor meant to act as or in lieu of actual flight instruction. Consult a certified flight instructor for more information. High pressure over the East Coast yields some great flying to the Boston area and a night return to Caldwell, as well as allows us to show you a little bit on how it's done.
It's his fault.
I want to thank the heads of the 5 families for making this meeting.
It's another episode of Life in the Fast Lane. I'm John Weisswasser, pilot and drummer for Eaglemania. Follow me as I explore the practical use of general aviation while I travel the country with the world's greatest tribute to the Eagles. This is Life in the Fast Lane. This episode of Life in the Fast Lane takes the band to the Collins Center for Performing Arts in Andover, Massachusetts for a benefit show. The schedule was fairly typical, except it was an early show time and only a 90-minute set, which raised the possibility of returning to New Jersey after the show. The choice of airports for this gig was an easy one. Lawrence Airport is co-located at Andover and is about a 20-minute drive from the venue. It's a fairly typical Class D airport just outside the Boston Class Bravo. Once again, a calculation has to be made as to when the fail-safe, do-or-die flying decision needs to be made. Given the 4.5-hour drive time, I needed to make a decision as to whether to fly by 11 a.m. if I was going to make it there by soundcheck. When I initially briefed the flight at 8 a.m., everything was deeply VFR, and forecast to stay that way throughout the day and into the evening, making the possibility of a return that night very likely. This was due to one of those autumn high-pressure ridges parked over the East Coast. The ADDS graphic of the forecasted sky condition confirmed what I already knew, and the SIP-FIP and turbulence forecasts were completely benign.
929 Delta Alpha cleared to Lawrence, Mass. Via left turn on departure heading 180 radar vectors breeze ES file 2170 at 10 minutes 119.2 squawk on release 9 Delta Alpha.
9 Delta Alpha, read back correct, advisory taxi expectors.
We'll go 9 Delta Alpha.
I made a little mistake on the readback. I should have said 17,000, not 170, as 17,000 is not a flight level. It was not long after I got my clearance that I was airborne.
Meridian 9 Delta Alpha, wind calm, runway 22, clear for takeoff.
Clear for takeoff 22 9 Delta Alpha.
Racer Alpha, Meridian departing behind you. Will be turning left to a heading 180. When safe and able, start your crosswind. Reference the traffic ahead and to your right, also in the crosswind to downwind.
My goal with these videos is to capture the planning and decision process that goes into these flights. I have committed to filming every time I fly to get to a show. These last few installments, however, have had very little in the way of sophisticated decision-making due to the fairness of September weather, which is my favorite month to fly. I suppose I could just omit the flights where nothing happens or there were no challenges, but that would cloud the overall picture here, no pun intended. I want to present these in total so that you can see not only how I deal with planning and decisions, but also how often I actually get to fly.
6009 Delta.
So in keeping with that mantra, here's an example of a scrub trip, a time when I decided it wasn't safe to fly and resorted to driving. For reference, this was the only time I canceled a flight since I started filming these trips. It actually occurred sometime between episode 1 and episode 2. So it's fair to ask, do I ever cancel trips? Here's an example from April, when we played the Calet Theater in Pulaski, New York. The goal was, as usual, to be there by about a 4:30 sound check. So the plan here was to fly from Caldwell, New Jersey to Syracuse, New York, which was the closest airport to Pulaski. It bears mentioning that these short flights are in some ways harder because I can't get into the flight levels and fly above the weather. All my usual outlets 2 days before were telling me that this was not going to be a straightforward trip. But most concerning, the night before, in addition to the low ceilings and visibilities and the possibility of ice, was the potential for freezing rain at 50 miles south of my route and basically along the entire route. And this potential was really for the whole day. first thing I did that morning was check the trusty forecast icing potential chart, which was not looking good. The lower altitude showed supercooled large droplets all over northern New Jersey, which meant I couldn't climb through it to get above it. This SLD extended along most of the route with severe icing below 10,000 feet. SLD, like thunderstorms, are an absolute no-go. The rest of the data that morning made the decision even easier. There was a PIREP for freezing rain south of Caldwell, a line of precip moving into the area, and GRMETs that confirmed multiple freezing levels along the route. Worse, there was a METAR for freezing rain 50 miles south of Syracuse, and a GTAF which confirmed ice along the entire route. Today was not the day to fly. Basically, on the ride up, the car got shellacked, and there were multiple cars that had lost control. There was even a flipped over truck. I just love being right sometimes. So just to geek out a little, here's the SKU-T log P diagram for that morning around Caldwell. You can see a temperature inversion with multiple freezing levels below 10,000 feet. That, combined with saturated air, meant freezing rain.
So it just leveled off at 17,000 feet, and we're just east of Carmel VOR. And as I pick up speed, it looks like we'll be there in about 35 minutes. Boston Center, good afternoon. Meridian 929 Delta Alpha, 16.1, descending 15,000.
929 Delta Alpha, Boston Center, Bradley, altimeter 3019er.
19er, 9 Delta Alpha.
JetBlue.
So we're at 15,000 inside Hartford
on
the Graham 6 arrival, and it says expect to cross Devaney at 11,000. So I'm just going to expect that.
Get my call earlier. Jump 5, yes,
and so I'm going to put that in
minutes prior.
just to give me an idea. It'll give me, it's nice because it says the top of our descent will be in 3 minutes. So sometime in the next 3 minutes, expect that they will start the descent from Meridian 929 Delta Alpha 13.3, descending 11,000.
November 929 Delta Alpha, by the approach, by the altimeter 3018.
189 Delta Alpha.
India 1700, Lawrence weather. Com, visibility 10. Sky clear. 227, 2114, altimeter 3018. Visual approach and use arriving runway 23.
Boston approach, Meridian 929 Delta Alpha 5000, India, request the RNAV 23.
November 929 Delta Alpha, Boston approach, expect, correction, RNAV 23 request, Officer X.
Okay, we'll expect the RNAV 239 Delta Alpha.
Arizona Charlie, Bradley approach 9.0.
1400 at warm up. And the bottom's at 562 with a missed climb straight ahead, 2000 direct tubes and hold, which looks like it's straight out and a parallel entry.
Boston approach transition, Bedford
or teardrop entry, either one.
And number 9 Delta Alpha, Lawrence Tower advises the wind's 260 to 5. It's been pretty variable. Would you prefer to stick with 23 or would you like to go straight in runway 5?
We can stick with the RNAV to 23, 9 Delta Alpha.
There was no way I was going to land with a tailwind when I could practice an RNAV in the right direction.
So on our current track, I expect he's going to turn us this way. So we're actually in heading mode even though we're following that course line. So I'm going to activate that leg of that.
To me, instrument flying is a lot about anticipating what's next. Constantly asking yourself, what's next, what's next, what's next.
In November 9 Delta Alpha, turn left 320.
320, 9 Delta Alpha.
61 Victor, remain this frequency, sir. You can transition to Lawrence Delta 2,500 or above. November 929 Delta Alpha, descend to maintain 2,000.
2000, 9 Delta Alpha.
9 Delta Alpha, turn left heading 260 on approach course.
260 to intercept, 9 Delta Alpha.
November 9 Delta Alpha, 4 miles from Whoop Up, maintain 2,000 till establish final approach course, cleared RNAV, runway 23 approach. 2,000
till establish, cleared for the approach, 9 Delta Alpha.
November 9 Delta Alpha, contact Lawrence Tower, 119.25.
Okay, over to tower, thanks for your help, 9 Delta Alpha.
You're welcome.
All right. Lawrence Tower, Meridian 929 Delta Alpha is outside warm-up.
Meridian 929 Delta Alpha, Lawrence Tower, runway 23, clear land.
Clear land 23, 9 Delta Alpha. Gear coming down. Green, 10 of flaps. Manual, lights, flaps, gear, 3 green, pressurization 0. Below flaps 2. We're aiming for across the fence speed of about 95 knots.
Vessel 1301, roger, make a straight-in approach to runway 23, report crossing the river over Haverhill. Straight in over Port Haverhill, 23081.
Okay, last notch of flaps. Okay, final check. 3 green. Okay, I'm coming off the autopilot.
500.
This was new territory and a new venue for Eaglemania, and we weren't quite sure what to expect. While we've had a lot of luck in some of the suburbs of Boston, like Beverly, which you can see in episode 3, Andover was new and we weren't sure how effectively it was promoted.
That's okay. So let's go back to this one and we'll bring that back in.
As it turned out, it was a benefit with some steep ticket prices which limited the size of the audience a bit. Our sweet spot in a new room tends to be between 600 and 800 tickets sold, and this was more like 450 to 500. That said, the audience was very enthusiastic and conveyed a great vibe.
They do one show a year.
Right.
It's for the college. This is not the college, this is the high school.
Okay.
So it really has nothing, it's just a facility. And everything is for the community by the college.
Okay.
And the college faculty.
Right.
And it's a fundraiser on top of
okay.
it. So people don't come to fundraisers.
Right, and we were worried that the sales are a little low.
Yeah, they're at 400,
But
which
it's-
is
but
below
it's-
what we normally do.
Right, but the ticket price was high.
And ticket price is $50 because it's a fundraiser.
Okay.
So
So how many we have sold now?
400.
Which is, are they happy with that or not?
No.
They're not happy?
No, not happy.
All right, well.
You know, they were
what are you gonna
expecting
do?
6.
Okay, but there could still be some walk-ups. It won't be 6,
Yeah. Right, it won't be 6.
but, right. All right.
This is what it is.
It's
You know?
every now and then this happens.
We know when this is going to happen based on the room,
Right.
based on the promotion, how well they promote a show or
Right.
you know, we know this is not a reflection on us.
Right.
It's never a reflection on us.
Right.
And while we have played hundreds and hundreds of shows, and as I've said in other episodes, the best shows are the ones that capture our typical show note for note, the finished product is always a work in progress, which makes the quote-unquote perfect show a little bit elusive.
I want to thank the heads of the 5 families for making this meeting today.
I got a problem with him right off the bat.
Okay.
So at the end of one of these nights, Joe has.
In this case, we spent some time working on the ending to the Eagles' best ode to the 70s, One of These Nights.
2 couplets, or you can say there's 4 of them totally.
In the last couple shows, JD had been vamping on the ending a little more than usual, more like the record, which has a ridiculously long outro, and it was throwing the rest of the band a touch as to where to place the ending. Ken, who really is our music director, quickly put an end to the confusion with a quick stop to the woodshed in the green room before the show.
So that everybody's on the same page. Is that cool?
Perfect. Just so you know, I wait for him to do that little guitar
Of course,
lick.
yeah. So let's take it from like the pre-chorus. I'm gonna find you.
There is nothing, and I really mean nothing, about our show that isn't deliberate and practiced ahead of time.
Thank you. Very talented.
the whole point.
Close your eyes, we look just like that.
As soon as I had finished up with the meet and greet, I started briefing the ride home. All the stations between Lawrence and Caldwell were reporting VFR. Similarly, the TAFs hadn't changed from the morning briefing, and were still calling for good VFR the entire ride. The SIPFIP and the turbulence forecast offered nothing, and the NEXRAD was clear. I had been alerted to the fact that there was a pack of coyotes who had made the airport their home, and they liked to lounge out on the runway at night. The suggestion by the line crew that afternoon had been, for my night departure, to ask the tower for a back taxi to make sure that the runway was clear, which they approved, and all was good.
Boston departure, good evening, Meridian 929 Delta Alpha, 1.5, climbing 2000, runway heading.
929 Delta Alpha, Boston departure, cover maintain 8000, ident.
8000 and ident 9 Delta Alpha.
9 Delta Alpha, radar contact 2 miles southwest Lawrence Airport, Boston, 3016.
16, 9 Delta Alpha.
9 Delta Alpha, flight heading 220.
220, 9 Delta Alpha. So we're at our cruise altitude of 8,000 feet. That's what our routing looks like. Much more direct. Now, if I had gone higher, filed for say 17,000 feet, they would have taken me out to Albany and then down, which is really painful. That would have added a lot of time. So basically this is a tower en route control route, and Aviat is got to stay low, but fuel is not a critical issue on the short flight, so I'd rather stay low and go more direct than through the exercise of climbing up only to be descended and go way out towards Albany.
Jump to 1326.
Right now, I'm due to land at Caldwell with 6 minutes to spare before the tower closes there. So we are now direct Carmel, and we've been descended to 6,000 feet, and still showing an arrival 6 minutes before the tower closes at Caldwell. And it's just a perfect night for flying.
5 Mike Victor. 9 Delta Alpha, call approach on 128.55. Have a good one.
12855, 9 Delta Alpha, take care. New York approach Meridian 929 Delta Alpha, 4000 with the numbers like direct Audi for the RNAV22.
929 Delta Alpha, approved as requested, altimeter Caldwell 3018.
Okay, direct Audi for 9 Delta Alpha, thank you.
929 Delta Alpha, turn right heading 260, vectors to cross traffic and for lower.
260, 9 Delta Alpha.
704, information is Kilo, ILS 22 left, altimeter 3018. Spirit 504, turn right 070. 584 tip. Polish Air Force 101, traffic 12 o'clock, 5 miles southwestbound, 4,000 feet, a Meridian.
That was interesting. He called me out to Polish Air Force 101.
10.1 for 10 to 9,000. 99 Delta Alpha, traffic 12 to 1 o'clock, 5 miles southeastbound, 3,000 G5.
Look at 9 Delta.
It didn't occur to me until I was watching this video that because the UN General Assembly was in town that week, Polish Air Force 101 must be carrying the Polish premier. Cool.
4,000, a Meridian.
Look at it, Polish Air Force 101.
Very good. 9 Delta Alpha, the G5's crossing your 1 o'clock and about a mile southeast at 3.
Inside 9 Delta.
Polish Air Force 101, traffic's crossing your 12 o'clock, less than a mile above you at 4,000, has you inside.
Inside Polish Air Force 101.
Very good. 99 Delta Alpha, you're clear of the traffic. Descend and maintain 3000, turn left heading 180.
3000, 180, 9 Delta Alpha.
9 Delta Alpha, you're looking for the RNAV or the localizer?
RNAV for 9 Delta Alpha.
I directed Dowdy for that approach.
Great, direct Dowdy, 9 Delta Alpha.
929 Delta Alpha, you're about 4 from Dowdy. Dowdy at 2500.
Vertical track.
Cleared the RNAV approach, 22 call.
Okay, Dowdy 2500, clear for the approach, 9 Delta Alpha.
Polish Air Force 101, turn right heading 160, intercept localizer runway 19.
Right 160, intercept localizer runway 19, push hold on the 1.
Spirit 504, turn right heading 120.
Right 120, Spirit 504.
American 299, turn right 140. 929 Delta Alpha, appreciate your help. Contact Tower 1198, radar service does terminate. Have a good night.
Okay, over to Tower, thanks for your help, 9 Delta Alpha. All Tower, Meridian 929 Delta Alpha is with you inside Dowdy.
Meridian 929 Delta Alpha, call Will Tower, current altimeter 3019, wind calm, runway 22, clear to land.
Okay, clear to land 22, 9 Delta Alpha. Okay, 3 green, 10 of flaps. We're good for flaps 2. Flaps 2. Manual, lights, flaps, 3 green, pressurization 0. Runways in sight. Hey, one more check. Lights, flaps, 3 green. Autopilot's off.
500. Minimums.
Here's what's next in Life in the Fast Lane. A beautiful day for flying, followed by a beautiful night for flying, so we can play at a very old and carefully restored theater with a history. But, as I've always said in flying, it's always something. It's another episode of Life in the Fast Lane.
The nav database is mismatched.